तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भुविदा जनाः। स्वामी विवेकानंद के 160वां जन्म जयंती के अवसर पर आज षष्ठ दिवसीय जयंती समारोह में विशेष प्रवचन श्री रामकृष्ण की दृष्टि में स्वामी विवेकानंद इन द आईज ऑफ श्री रामकृष्ण. Who was स्वामी विवेकानंद? स्वामी विवेकानंद कौन थे? इसको निरूपण करना, निर्णय करना असंभव है. जैसे शिव जी के बारे में कहा जाता है, देवादिदेव. जादृशो ही महादेव तादृशो ही महेश्वर. आप जैसे हैं वैसे ही हैं. आप वर्णना के अतीत है. शिवावतार स्वामी विवेकानंद के बारे में भी उतना ही कहना संभव है. वो इतने महान थे, साधारण व्यक्तियों के लिए उनका डायमेंशन परिमाप करना असंभव है. तो जैसे हम लोग कोई वस्तु को दर्शन करने के लिए हम कोई गैजेट का यूज़ करते हैं. जैसे टू सी द सेलेस्टियल बीइंग्स वी यूज ए टेलीस्कोप. इस आंखें से दिखा नहीं सकता है, लेकिन यंत्र का साहाय्य में हम उनको थोड़ा से परिमाप कर सकते हैं. So you need a medium through which you see your desired object in a visible form. Similarly, one has to see a equally competent person, take help of equally competent person, if not more competent, to get a glimpse of the greatest personalities. Common proverb goes, only an expert jeweler can evaluate a precious jewel. कहा जाता है जहुरी ही मूल्यवान अलंकार का कीमत जानते हैं, जोहरी जतन चिनते हैं, जोहरी जहर चिनते हैं। वैसे ही स्वामी विवेकानंद can be brought to our comprehension through the telescopic eye of Sri Ramakrishna. We get a glimpse. Normally, Sri Ramakrishna has depicted Swami Vivekananda in various ways at various times, indicating that Swami Vivekananda was an extraordinary being. Out and out he said, Narendra belongs to a very high plane, realm of the Absolute. He has a manly nature. So many devotees come here, but there is no one like him. He is unparalleled. His dimension at the outset can be given in a nutshell by comparing with great personalities in the similar times. In the contemporary great personalities can be compared, and you get a glimpse, estimate. One of the greatest personality in those times, when Sri Ramakrishna was in the height of his spiritual ministration, was Keshav Chandra Bose. Keshav Chandra was the leader of the Brahma Samaj, a religious movement, the great orator, great writer, publishing a magazine, and they went to meet the Queen in England, the head of the British Empire. And he was cordially received for his scholarship, for his multifaceted genii. Now, this Keshav Chandra Sen, not Bose, Keshav Chandra Sen was compared with Narendranath by Sri Ramakrishna. He said, Keshav Chandra is famous, he was world famous, international, because he was honored by the British Queen for his oratory and other attributes, talents. He said, if Keshav Chandra, I see that Keshav Chandra is very famous and acclaimed for his power within. But Sri Ramakrishna says, if you think that Keshav Chandra has one unit of power, I see that Narendranath has 18 such units of power. Kishan Chandra is famous for one item of power. Narendranath has 18 such varieties of powers within him. It was something incredible, unbelievable, because Narendranath was in the oblivion. He was just a young man without any visible talents. He was just a college student, and he didn't have that visible, very extraordinary approach. He looked like normal human being. But this was Sri Ramakrishna's view of Swami Vivekananda. Not only in one sentence, he says many times that he comes from a different plane of existence. He belongs to a very high plane, the realm of the Absolute. This we have to understand what he is talking about. This has a background. Because Sri Ramakrishna by this time was established in his spiritual mood, which is called Bhavmukha. He realized God in various ways. He had all the treasures of spirituality. He realized that what is the role of his advent, who he was, and what he was supposed to do. By this time he was convinced by the Divine Mother that though he would behave like a small boy, but in reality he had complete self-knowledge who he was and how and what he was supposed to do. Having realized his spiritual genii, Sri Ramakrishna knew that now he has to share it for the benefit of the mankind, to one and all. And his health is too delicate. Due to years of painstaking sadhana, it has well nigh been shattered by the spiritual current and waves. So the spiritual treasures realized by him are waiting to be distributed to the deserving devotees through competent torch bearers. And Narendranath was the forefront of the carrier of his message. So naturally, in order that such lofty ideas can be well understood and well propagated, he needed a medium. And that medium was, instrument was Narendranath. It was earmarked by Divine Mother. So naturally, when you would compare Narendranath with others, you would talk in superlative. He used to say, every now and then I take a stock of the devotees. I find that some are like lotuses with 10 petals, Some like lotuses with 100 petals, but among lotuses, Narendranath is a 1,000-petaled one. Shastradal Padma. Such is the difference. He is excellent in everything. He gives several country examples also. Like Narendranath is a huge water barrel, while other devotees may be like pots or pitchers. Others may be like pools or tanks, but Narendranath is a huge reservoir, like the Haldar Pukur. Wherever compared, Narendranath is superlative, excellence. Among fish, Narendranath is a huge red-eyed carp, others are like minnows or smelts or sardines. Narendra itself is a very big receptacle, one that can hold many things. He is like a bamboo with a big hollow space inside. Among fish, Narendranath is like a huge red-eyed carp, while others are like minnows or smelts or sardines. Narendranath is not under the control of anything. He is not under the control of attachment or sense pleasures. He is like a male pigeon. If you hold a male pigeon by its beak, it breaks away from you. And Narendranath was a counterpart. He says that I am like a counterpart of Narendranath. I have a propensity of a soft, mellowed, that devotional nature with a like a female, but Narendranath was a man, manly position. The counterpart was, Sri Ramakrishna says, I am a devotee outside and Jnani inside. Whereas Narendranath is just the other way down. He is Jnani outside and devotee inside. Outwardly, he is an out and out Vedantin. But within his heart, he is a very soft natured devotee of God. And my case is the other way around. Sri Ramakrishna first met Narendranath in Calcutta when he went to the house of Surendranath Mitra. And as you would like to hear songs, they try to arrange a singer to make some musical program in the congregation. Now, in November 1881, when Sri Ramakrishna went to the house of Surendranath Mitra, because they could not arrange any professional singer, and Narendranath was a neighbor having a talented voice. So they brought Narendranath to sing a few songs in the presence of Sri Ramakrishna. When Narendranath started singing, it was wrapped with so much of devotion and feeling and emotions. Sri Ramakrishna went into superconscious state samadhi. And then he requested him to come to Dakshineshwar as soon as possible. When Sri Ramakrishna went, when Swami Vivekananda went, Narendranath, a college student at that time, went to Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna requested him to sing again. Again, when Narendranath started singing, Sri Ramakrishna was in ecstasy. When the singing is over, suddenly Sri Ramakrishna became emotional and grasped Narendranath's hands and took him to the northern porch of Kali temple with tears in his eyes and said, "You have come so late. How unkind of you to keep me waiting so long. My ears are almost seared listening to the cheap talk of worldly people. How I have been yearning to unburden my mind to one who will understand my thought." Then with folded hands he said, "Lord, I know you are the ancient sage Nara, the incarnation of Narayana, born on earth to remove the miseries of mankind." What Sri Ramakrishna realized through his supernatural experiences, he disclosed to Narendranath and wanted to have a confirmation. Now, first of all, we have to understand what is this Nara and Narayana pair. Narayana is the divine part of the Almighty and represents pure consciousness. Nara is the component that represents action, energy, and action. Nara Narayana together represents perfection. Nara is not any less than Narayana. Nara without Narayana and Narayana without Nara are equally incomplete. So both are connected for the benefit of each other. As an example, it is given, Krishna and Arjuna are said to be the incarnations of Narayana and Nara respectively, Krishna and Arjuna. Similarly, Ramakrishna and Narendra were the incarnations of Narayana and Nara respectively. This Sri Ramakrishna clarified. Now, on hearing these lofty words, Narendranath was perplexed, confused, and concluded that this person must be mad. He had no inkling of his any greatness. He said, "I am an ordinary person of Calcutta," and he is saying so many high things. He must have gone out of head. He didn't pay heed to such words. So this puts Sri Ramakrishna in the spell of confusion. On the one hand, Divine Mother has shown him that this is the person who would carry forward his message, his torch bearer, who would be the torch bearer of Sri Ramakrishna and on whom Sri Ramakrishna could rely and hand over whatever spiritual treasures he has for distribution to everyone, so that this can be made available to the common people through this great personality. So when Sri Ramakrishna was confused, seeing the reality and his spiritual vision, a contradiction, he had no other way but to get confirmation in a supernatural way. He said when Narendra came again, I took him to the side room, and after putting Narendra in a state of super consciousness, he brought the level of consciousness, awareness of Narendra from Chetan to Ati Chetan. Because super consciousness, then only you can get the total personality. When we are in this Martha Bhumi, Chetan Bhumi, then our vision is shrunk, curtailed. So he took him, a part of his mind, to super conscious state, and he asked many questions about his past, his mission in the world, and the duration of his present life. Because this Nara has come for a mission, he would know. When Narendranath was put to such superconscious state, then his answers had only confirmed what Sri Ramakrishna himself had realized in his own life. Sri Ramakrishna later told this to other disciples, that Narendra had attained perfection even before this birth. He is Janma Siddha Rishi. Udhan Siddho. And he was an adept in meditation. So, his tenure, his longevity, everything was predetermined. And he is a perfected being. There are normally the common people, they come to this world to do spiritual practice and become perfect. We come here to become perfect, to realize God. But there are some eternally free souls, Ishwar Koti, Nitya Siddhya. They are eternally free and eternally perfect. They are born to set examples in order that other people may attain the same goal. But he gave a warning, Sri Ramakrishna, that the day Narendra will recognize his true self, he will give up this body by an act of will. And through yoga he will be gone. Often he was hard to say that Narendranath was one of the Saptarshis or 7 sages who live in the realm of the Absolute. And he narrated to the disciples this incident, what he saw. Regarding Narendranath, he said, one day I was meditating and my mind soared very high. And then it went to the level of heavens and he saw many gods and goddesses But I didn't stop there. I wanted, and my mind was elevated further to higher regions. And I saw the Pithiloka, Gandharva, etc., which are presented in the scriptures. I got it verified. I saw in my own spiritual vision, or dream, whatever you say. So it was there. Then when I was traveling upward, even beyond the heaven, then there was a luminous effulgence. There's a mark, Ujjwal Rekha. So he saw where even the gods and goddesses cannot enter. Further higher region. Then I realized this is the delusion of Akhanda. So far there was the Dvaita Bhumi of two or more. But there is a region, there is no two. Everything becomes one. Ekameva Dvitiyam. Sri Ramakrishna is saying that my mind was completely overwhelmed to find that even there 7 human beings are seated with human forms. They are not human beings, but in human forms. 7 persons are in deep meditation. I was excited because these people have elevated themselves to levels which are far above common people. They were absorbed in deep meditation. So I was surprised to find that their excellence and they have occupied such a high position. But they were continuously in meditation. And there I found that suddenly one divine child came to a monk and tried to bring him back to his conscious level. Because in that meditative state you can call anybody. There is all the zone of silence. So there that child was cajoling one of the rishis and trying to bring him back to the realm of where there are two, dualistic realm. He wanted to bring him down. But he had no other way, but he was cajoling, and then suddenly he saw that the rishi opened his eyes apart and by his request, the child was telling, I am going, you please follow me. Ami jachi tumi esho. A call of love from that child, small baby. And by his loving call, the rishi opened his eyes a little. He was in deep meditation and smilingly gave a nod. Okay. And then immediately afterwards, a great child came down like a thunder. And then out of this, later on the development we know. Sri Ramakrishna says that I was that child and the Rishi was Narendranath. This is what Narendranath in the eyes of Sri Ramakrishna. Under this mystic realization, in the pragmatic sense, Sri Ramakrishna understood to carry forward his mission, Narendranath was the most competent instrument. And that's why he says Narendranath is a great soul perfect in meditation. He cuts the veils of Maya to pieces with the sword of knowledge. Inscrutable Maya can never bring him under his control. And I repeatedly said that he belongs to the class of Nitya Siddhya, ever free. One is born perfect, an Ishwar Koti, or a special messenger of God, born on earth to fulfill a divine mission. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was supremely patient with Narendranath with his obstinate strength of divine power. It is hard to say when Narendranath accepted Sri Ramakrishna as his guru. As far as the master was concerned, the spiritual relationship was established at the first meeting of Dakshineshwar, when he touched Narendranath, steering him to his inner depths. From that moment he had implicit faith in the disciple and bore him with a great love. But he encouraged Narendranath to his independent thinking. What the other people thought of Narendranath as his arrogance, Sri Ramakrishna always encouraged him that he is a manly stature, he is an independent thinker. But the very presence of Narendranath would make Sri Ramakrishna to travel towards his superconscious state. But you would miss him very much if he wouldn't come for days together. But people around Sri Ramakrishna was not able to understand why he was so mad after Vivekananda. Swami Premananda once was staying with Sri Ramakrishna at night, overnight at Dakshineshwar temple. They were staying outside and Sri Ramakrishna was inside the room, but at dead of night he would get up and he would ask, "Have you fallen asleep?" Then Premanandaji and another person, Ram Dayal, they got up and said, No, that's all right. He said that, "I cannot sleep." Sri Ramakrishna says, "I cannot sleep because that Narendranath, the son of a Kayastha caste, he told that he would come, but he didn't come. This pang of separation is like a squeezing of towel in my heart. I am feeling so much pain, crucial pain in my heart, because I miss him so much." Then Baburam Maharaj and this Ram Dayal Sharma, they assured him that on the following morning they would definitely go and inform Narendranath to visit Sri Ramakrishna as soon as possible. Sri Ramakrishna went back to his room. But again, after some time, he got up and came with the same state of affairs. So Baburam Maharaj says that that time I was wondering how cruel this young man must be to put this gentleman in so much of trouble. He could have come. Why doesn't he come? But he was oblivious. Narendra thought this person is out of his head, and out of his inordinate love for him, he is eulogizing him. But later on, Vivekananda also became mad about Sri Ramakrishna's. And he acknowledged and confirmed that Sri Ramakrishna was LOVE personified. We have to understand the attitude of Vivekananda. He does not need any guru to become perfect. He is born perfect. So what is the relation between Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda? Normally it is the relation of master and the disciple, which is not in this case. Very peculiar relation. When Swami Vivekananda left his body in 1902, then Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi was alive. And the devotees started worshipping Sri Ramakrishna, along with a photograph of Swami Vivekananda, putting them on the same platform, the same height. So a criticism came among the devotees that how a disciple is being placed in the same level of the guru. So the controversy was referred to Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, whether it is in the proper order of things that guru and the disciple are being worshipped on the same platform. Sima Sharda Devi confirmed. She said, Narendra is our crest jewel, Matha and Muni. So, there is not even the harm if he is placed above Sri Ramakrishna. He had no business to come here. Sri Ramakrishna was the God of the universe. He has to come again and again to take care of his children. But Narendra was brought on request and loving request. So the relation between the two is a unique cord of love by which Sri Ramakrishna won Swami Vivekananda. Let us remember that even after 6 years of intimate interaction, spiritual realizations, attainment of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, seeing various mystic manifestation of Sri Ramakrishna, Narendra still had doubt, even at the last stage of Sri Ramakrishna's life, and thought within himself, is this the man who is an incarnation of God? If he is, Let him confess. Sri Ramakrishna, without being asked, confirmed. Yes, the same Rama and Krishna has appeared here in this form. Not in the Vedantic way, but as per the norms of the avatar. So this much confirmation he had. Even afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna's departure, he went to Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh and wanted to get initiated from Pawari Baba, thinking Sri Ramakrishna didn't have enough of yogic powers. He would learn something more with Pawari Baba and he would learn from Pawari Baba. Pawari Baba said, I will teach you provided you take Diksha from me. You have to become my disciple. You have to change your guru. Swami Vivekananda agreed. But consequently, for 40 nights, he saw Sri Ramakrishna in a subtle form appearing outside his window of bedroom and looking at him with tearful eyes. So Sri Swami Vivekananda went on postponing his date of initiation. And Pawari Baba went on waiting because he knew he is a very extraordinary disciple. After 40 days of vain struggle, Swami Vivekananda courted defeat. He gave up this plan and he told Pawari Baba that he would not take initiation from him. Subsequently, he wrote a letter to Pramadadas Mitra Banaras. I will not go to anyone else any further. Now I have realized that Sri Ramakrishna is peerless. He is no parallel. So Sri Ramakrishna won the heart of Swami Vivekananda by the stroke of love only. And to make it work for him, he requested, prayed to Holy Mother, to Divine Mother, Kali, to put Narendranath under bondage of Maya, because he is too great to cut asunder the bonds of Maya and rise high up to his own abode of consciousness, one without second, Akhanda Chaitanya. Sri Ramakrishna earmarked Swami Vivekananda to be his torch bearer, not only by words, but by written order, saying on a piece of paper in his own handwriting, Narendra will teach. When he'll go far, he'll give a big call. Narendra শিক্ষা দেবে যখন দূরে রহিবে হাঁক দিবে. This actually happened. Swami Vivekananda went to United States in Chicago and gave a clarion call from the Parliament of Diligence on 11 September 1893. But this was foreseen much before by Sri Ramakrishna and endorsed by his written instruction. He even gave instruction to Narendranath to tie up his young disciples into a bondage of monastic brotherhood. Narendranath did by establishing the Ramakrishna order, the monks. Narendranath took care of Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to leave the countrymen with the wonderful ideal of Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva, seeing God in every human being. Narendranath inspired the youth and developed the sense of self-respect, Atma Shraddha among his countrymen. Narendranath, instead of feeling flattered by these compliments, became annoyed and sharply rebuked the master for what he regarded as his that foolhardiness. Sri Ramakrishna said, "I cannot help it. Do you think that these are my words? The Divine Mother showed me certain things about you which I repeated, and she reveals to me nothing but the truth. I won't listen to you anymore. Mother says that I love you because I see the Lord in you. The day I shall not see Him in you, I shall not be able to bear even the sight of you." So Sri Narendranath was not liked by Sri Ramakrishna for his physical appearance, but for his spiritual fervor. Sri Ramakrishna took Narendranath one day to the Panchavati and said, "Look, I possess 8 occult powers, Ashtasiddhi. But I decided long ago that I would never use them. I find no need for them, but you will have to preach religion and do many things. I have decided to give you these powers. Please accept them." But Narendranath refused. The master was extremely pleased by his refusal. When Narendranath lost his father, he was in extreme distressed condition. One day Sri Ramakrishna, in the company of Narendranath, appealed to a rich devotee that Narendranath has lost his father and he needs some help. The devotee left, but Narendranath was extremely annoyed. He says, "Why do you have to tell him all that?" Sri Ramakrishna says that I love you, I am ready to do anything for you. I will go from house to house begging for you. It's a wonderful story of pure spiritual love, of give and take, of enriching each other, fulfilling the mission of one another. Narendranath later on acknowledged that the old man, meaning Sri Ramakrishna, bound him ever by his love. Sri Ramakrishna not only made Narendranath to see Divine Mother face to face, but also imparted his spiritual power so that by this he could do immense benefit to the humanity at large. Today, on his auspicious birthday celebration, let us offer our prayers to the twin Ramakrishna Vivekananda, two expressions of love in spirituality. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Today is the sixth day of the birthday celebration of Swami Vivekananda. Now there will be Roginarayan Puja in the hospital. In the afternoon, in the auditorium, there will be 4 o'clock Yogasana demonstration by gap children and a film show, Mere Bharat. And in the evening, after the Aarti, there will be Shivanam Sankirtan, because Swami Vivekananda was no other than an incarnation of Lord Shiva. We close now with the chanting of the Lord. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om.